Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Right now, you literally cannot escape the massive buzz surrounding things like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and NFTs. They are everywhere. But today we're going to go way beyond the sensational headlines. We're going to completely demystify crypto, looking closely at it as a true asset class. We'll be examining its incredible real-world utility and, of course, shining a bright light on its jaw-dropping volatility. Okay, let's dive right into this. Why is everyone going crypto crazy? This entirely virtual, decentralized asset is practically taking over. But to actually understand why some experts view it as the ultimate financial future, while others see it as just one massive gamble, we need to take a quick step back. Section 1. The evolution of money, from barter to crypto. To really get crypto, you have to realize it isn't some totally alien concept that just dropped out of the sky. It's simply stage 5 in the natural evolution of how human beings exchange value. I mean, think about it. We move from bartering to precious metal coins to paper money and eventually to the digital banking era, where your money is basically just an entry on a bank spreadsheet. And that gives us the perfect context for stage 5. Cryptocurrency is just the most convenient era yet. It's a completely virtual, decentralized system, no physical bounds whatsoever, just the seamless transfer of digital assets. Section 2. The blockchain. Demystifying the tech. So, the crucial point here is the ledger. Behind this whole virtual stage of money is a surprisingly simple engine. See, traditional banks hold their own private, separate spreadsheets. Cryptocurrency replaces all of that with one enormous, shared public spreadsheet of every transaction ever made using that specific currency. And because it's completely decentralized, there aren't just one or two copies. There are literally millions of copies of this exact same spreadsheet distributed across a global network of computers. And here is how that ingenious security works. Every time a transaction happens, it's recorded as a block that contains a unique digital fingerprint. We call that a hash. Crucially, each block also contains the hash of the one right before it, linking them all together in a chain. Make sense? So, tampering with one block instantly changes its hash, which completely invalidates the entire chain after it. To fake a transaction, you wouldn't just be guessing a 6-digit PIN. You'd have to alter that block and every subsequent block on millions of independent computers globally, all at the exact same time. It is an absolute mathematical fortress. Section 3. Utility of crypto. Practical benefits. And this brilliantly illustrates the highly practical, real-world utility of this asset class. Think about the friction of traditional banking. Sending money internationally, you're doing paperwork, you're waiting half a day for it to clear, you're hitting spending limits, and getting absolutely drained by exchange rates. Contrast that directly with cryptocurrency. Because the global network maintains the ledger for us, we don't need a bank at all. You can send an international payment almost instantly. No spending limits, completely ignoring international exchange rates, and the transaction fees are near zero. It is borderless, frictionless speed. A real game changer. Section 4. Volatility and risks. The dark side. But we have to pivot to the dark side here. When people treat this technology purely as a speculative investment, things get chaotic fast. An investor putting money into a diverse bunch of coins is going to watch their portfolio swing wildly up and then violently down. As the saying goes in the community, you'd probably get more consistency buying random products off Wish.com. This extreme volatility is a massive hurdle. Let's break down exactly why it's so volatile. These currencies are incredibly new, meaning, honestly, nobody really agrees on their true baseline value yet. The pricing is highly speculative and tightly bound to the 24-hour news cycle. I mean, a single tweet from someone like Elon Musk can literally cause a massive spike or a devastating crash in a matter of minutes. Plus, real-world utility gets hampered by corporate flip-flopping. Companies announce they're going to accept Bitcoin and then quickly backtrack. And on top of all that, you have massive environmental concerns. Remember that global network verifying the ledger? It requires a colossal amount of electricity, which critics argue is just fundamentally inefficient compared to traditional banking. Now, you might be wondering about the most famous criticism of all, the criminals, right? Well, take a look at this number, 0.34%. According to the data firm Chain Analysis, this incredibly tiny fraction represents the total amount of crypto transactions tied to criminal activity. So we really have to bust the myth that crypto is this ultimate haven for criminals. Let's put it in perspective. Up to 5% of normal, everyday cash transactions are tied to crime. Why? Because cash is completely untraceable.
Cryptocurrency, however, is pseudonymous. Sure, your real name might not be visibly attached, but your unique public key is permanently baked into that public, unchangeable blockchain ledger for the whole world to look at forever. Honestly, for illicit activity, plain old paper cash is actually far superior to crypto.
Section 5, World of NFTs, where things get weird.
Okay, so you've definitely heard this term thrown around, an NFT, or non-fungible token. Essentially, it allows you to pay for digital ownership over an original asset on the blockchain. But here is the catch. You do not own the actual reproduction rights. You basically own the original digital version of something, kind of acting like a massive flex on the blockchain, even though literally everyone else on the internet can perfectly right-click, copy, save, and share that identical JPEG image. The original creator? They still hold all the licensing and reproduction rights.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an absolutely wild speculative market, because things get genuinely absurd here. Someone paid $3,600 for an NFT of a Gucci ghost. Twitter founder Jack Dorsey sold his very first tweet for $2.9 million. And even outside of NFTs, Dogecoin, which was created purely as a literal internet joke, skyrocketed in value and minted massive, real-world millionaires in the process. It's intense, borderline humorous speculation. But nothing, and I mean nothing, sums up the wild extremes of this space quite like this staggering number. $69 million. That is the actual dollar amount a buyer paid simply to have digital ownership via an NFT over a collage of JPEG images created by a digital artist. Think about that. $69 million just for proof of ownership over an image that literally anyone can look at for free online.
So, what does this all mean? Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. As we've seen throughout this explainer, the blockchain offers undeniable borderless utility that could truly revolutionize how we exchange value as human beings. But its current market is wrapped in mind-boggling, tweet-driven volatility and absurd digital speculation. So I leave it to you to decide, based on the evidence we've dug into today. Is cryptocurrency the brilliant, decentralized future of global finance, or is it just one massive, highly optimistic gamble? Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.